Welcome to part 2 of our coverage of the Auto Expo in Greater Noida. I'm Vinayak Parthankar, and yeah, you might think that we're getting a little obsessed with Kia. Well, it's nice to get a new brand, and that car, the SP Concept, was our best of show at the awards and was also #1 in our top 25 countdown last week. But we don't ignore the rest of what's happening here, and it's a public day, so you can see there's lots of people milling around, and why not? Because there is a lot of anticipation and curiosity about this brand.
The 14th Auto Expo wrapped up a few days ago, and it gave us plenty to get excited about, despite some brands staying away. Let's jump into those promised details. Market leader Maruti did show us the future S concept that points to a quid rival, but also launched the new Swift. The car's prices start at 4,99,000 rupees and go up to 8,29,000. Tata Motors had the showstoppers, as we told you last week. The H5X concept previews a production SUV to be launched in 2019 as both a 5 and 7-seater. Staying mass, let's get back to Kia.
Now this car, the Stonic, is a car that people are getting excited about globally as well. It's being shown here in white like the rest of its stablemates. It's just the concept that's orange, but a nice little touch. The roof finished in orange as well, so a nice little touch like I said. You've got the SUVs, the Sportage and the Sorento back there, but we've showed those to you before. And then there is another car, the Rio, which has a new generation that just came out in 2017. It's available both as a hatch and a sedan. Also tipped for the Indian market in many ways. The Picanto is a car that sits on the same platform as the Grand i10, and eventually we will get a small hatchback, of course, from Kia. But the Nero is the car that really interests me. Now a few days ago I had the chance to drive it around New York in the snow, and it comes in with a plug-in hybrid and a regular hybrid. Maybe India needs the non-hybrid version for starters, but I'll tell you what, the conventional hybrid Nero could well be a really interesting car, because it could be a statement making car. It's not too big and yet it's surprisingly roomy from the inside. I like this. I like the fact that you're getting to see a lot of different body styles here. The Nero, a big bet for all of us here in India.
Besides Maruti, Kia will have to go up against Hyundai too, and its sister company sure had a lot to show. There was the electric Ioniq sedan, the stylish Kona compact SUV, but the main attraction, of course, was the updated i20 and the i20 Active.
So we've already shown you the Hyundai i20 facelift, which made its global debut here at the Auto Expo. What we have here is the i20 Active, which is a crossover, and it also gets subtle upgrades to the looks inside and outside. So let's begin. Now as you can see, the headlamp has slightly changed, and so has the front grille. The panel is quite different from the i20 facelift. Hyundai has also added a skid plate to the bumper, which makes it look sporty and muscular. Now coming to the side profile of the car remains more or less same. There are a few changes to the interior. So Hyundai has added a new 17.7 touchscreen infotainment system here. This is all new. And if you move to the rear seat, Hyundai has also put in a new armrest at the rear along with the cup holders. Rest the cabin remains the same. You have the rear AC vents, which were there in the previous model as well, and which adds to the measure of comfort offered in the cabin for the rear occupants. Now coming to the rear of the car, more or less the car from the rear remains the same. Tail lamps at the rear remain the same. What's new is this rubber insert on the tailgate. This is all new, adding to the sporty and the muscular sense of the car. The rear bumper, as you can see, is also new, and as in the front, Hyundai has added a skid plate at the rear as well.
It's raining concepts at the 2018 Indian Auto Expo. We have showed you the Maruti Future Concept S, the SP concept from Kia, and now this is the concept. Now that's the name Renault have given it. Bold claim, the concept, but it is, wait for it, made in India by an Indian at the Indian design studios of Renault in Chennai and in Mumbai. Completely homegrown. Now this is a first for Renault. They've never showcased a concept homegrown car. The Kwid, of course, was a few years ago. That was an international project, but this is a slightly larger hatchback. Very far-fetched. The roof opens up for you to get in, but it has a really cool color combination, pearl white and yellow, and a maritime theme to it. So all the interior seating, you can't really call them seats, but seating in any case, are all wooden decked. The deck at the rear is like a yacht. It is a very, very cool car. Makes it to production? Yes, no, well, we'll wait and watch. Renault has this uncanny knack of bringing a concept, very outlandish concept, to the Indian Auto Expo and then turning it into a production car a few years later.
It's called The Concept. It's done by a designer called Gotham, and he had the idea of surf the city. The idea to, if you're a young couple, young people, you want to escape once in a while from Delhi, and for that you need a vehicle that is small, sporty, attractive, sexy, that you can easily get into, and that's what you see here behind me. It looks really fantastic.
Another escape pod that caught our eager eye was in the Mahindra stall, and it was called the Stinger. Based on the TUV 300, this sporty convertible SUV comes with beefy and muscular wheel arches with robust body cladding for that macho appeal. A well-equipped dashboard with a smart infotainment system makes this a complete package. The engine under the hood is Mahindra's 2.2-litre M-Hawk. SsangYong's flagship SUV Rexton has been rebadged as a Mahindra for India and will sit above the XUV 500. Mahindra needed a vehicle that was truly upmarket and could take on the Toyota Fortuner. The launch is expected around Diwali. Suzuki unveiled a new 125cc scooter, the Bergman Street, with maxi scooter looks.
Globally, they're available from a range of about 125 to about 600cc displacements, but this one for India, the one that's unveiled today at the Auto Expo 2018, has a 125cc engine which is shared with the Suzuki Access 125.
Suzuki also said its new GSX S750 will be assembled in India. It comes with a 750cc inline 4-cylinder engine that makes about 114 bhp of power. Honda launched an all-new premium commuter motorcycle, the X-Blade, based on the CB Hornet 160R, but with slightly different bodywork and styling. The X-Blade is priced just below 79,000 rupees. It was Honda's car division that stole the limelight away from the bikes, with plenty to get our attention. The second generation Amaze for starters.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the new second generation of the Honda Amaze. Big news here at the Auto Expo because, of course, it's a popular model for Honda. Here it is. Now, the face is completely different and it's kind of inspired by the Civic, which is also coming now, as you know. But this is the first of the 3 new models that Honda has shown, and it will be the one that I know more of you will care about because, of course, it's the one that's going to play in the higher volumes. It has to take on the Desire, so the new car has to be packed with a lot more. Styling wise, it's certainly a huge departure from the last Amaze because it's very angular and actually I have to say really attractive, very smart looking. But it's in here that things really start to take shape because look at the interior. It's a very spacious looking cabin. It promises a fair amount in terms of comfort and space, and come on in and take a look at the overall dash. That layout looks pretty promising as well because it talks about a more modern product for sure, with a touch screen, with a climate control system, with a start-stop button as well. So it's not just about the looks really, but yeah, the looks, how different does the car look now? It's sort of straight and angular, and I think that really works because it's very different to anything else that's in the segment, and it doesn't look like it is sub 4 meter either. The launch, first half of this year, for sure.
And then there was also the news that India will finally get the 5th gen CR-V.
Yep, that is the big news. The brand new generation CR-V will come with 3 rows for the first time. And also for the first time, India gets a diesel. So that's what Honda is promising. The petrol, of course, will also be available, I'm assuming, with a CVT option. It's a really nicely laid out car. It looks a lot more upmarket than the previous generation. And it's well finished. It's likely that it will give us a lot of efficient figures as well to talk about. Because, well, it's a Honda. Now, the last generation car was made here in India. So, again, my expectation is that this one will be made here too. It's nice and high-end looking. It's got, I think, a lot going for it. I'm running out of space here, but you can see that it does have a fairly upmarket sort of a stance. And it's bigger, right? It's bigger than the last car. It's always been a popular nameplate. Now, I think with these options, it's going to get even more popular. But speaking of popular nameplates, the other car that's finally coming back to India is the Civic. Now, somewhere in this crowd, we have the Civic, and there's Cyrus. Yeah, let's go across to Cyrus for the Civic.
Yes, so that's the CR-V that Siddharth showed you. But this is something that everybody's been interested about, and in fact it did won the Facebook contest to the Viewer's Choice Car of the Year or the Reader's Choice Car of the Year for our Auto Expo Awards. It is of course the new Civic. We haven't had that for quite a while here in India. When it did come the last time around, it did create quite the storm. This of course a whole new generation in line with that Amaze design you saw earlier too. Very slant, very sort of edgy and cutty all across. LED headlamps too. Very in line with what the Accord actually looks like. But the big difference, the last generation Civic was a complete sedan. It was a 3-box, very clear 3-box design. This one has a bit of a slopey edge to it. It's almost like a coupe, and that makes it a lot sexier, a lot sleeker. As with the last generation Civic, it does get that digital cluster on the speedometer. So all of that is digital. All of that of course is off currently. Big touchscreen in the center and paddle shifters. The last generation was just the petrol. This one will be both a petrol and a diesel. But what I really want is for Honda to debut that beautiful 1.5 litre turbo VTEC engine that we drove in Japan a couple of months ago.
Mercedes-Benz brought its new Maybach to town, priced at 1 crore 94 lakh to 2 crore 73 lakh rupees, and also showcased the E-Class all-terrain.
The E220 4MATIC all-terrain is definitely a market debut. It's just the exact date of the launch that I can't still tell you, but it is coming in this calendar year. Now, niche appeal, yes, but Volvo has already gone here with the V90 Cross Country. Audi has been sort of grappling with the idea of bringing in its all-road on the A6 platform. So, will this become some sort of an interesting niche segment? Well, I'm just glad that we are getting station wagons in some form. I'm certainly a fan of this segment.
Across the aisle at BMW, the brand showed a lot of intent with the i3S and i8 Roadster, besides also announcing that the 6 Series GT has arrived at 58,90,000 rupees. BMW will also launch the new X3 and Mini Countryman later this year, and the M division has brought in the refreshed M3, M4 and the all-new M5.
This is not a brand new model, it's just an updated version of the M4 which was selling in India currently. It has been already launched and is priced at 1.33 crore rupees ex-showroom India. The engine specs remain the same as the previous generation model, and thanks to the competition package being offered as standard, you do get a few visual updates on the M4, such as the twin tailpipes at the rear that you can see, the new 19-inch alloy wheels which are made of light alloy, and the M badging all over the car.
So BMW has also refreshed the M3 and the M4, and the India launch is happening here at the Expo. But it is this, the frozen red M5 that's getting all the attention, and why not? I mean, Mr. Tendulkar wants one. I would certainly love one, and we've just driven the car just a few weeks ago in December. You had it on the show, of course, so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, not only is this the brand new generation of the M5, but it brings in so much more than the previous generation offered. Again, an official debut and an official launch of the most powerful alphabet and also its most powerful brand ambassador.
BMW MOTORRAD also unveiled 4 new motorcycles for India at the Auto Expo. The much-awaited G310R and the baby GS, the G310 GS, share the same engine and are expected to be launched sometime in the second half of 2018. BMW also launched two new middleweight adventure bikes at the Auto Expo. The F750 GS is designed for everyday road use, while the F850 GS, which also makes more power, is the off-road oriented adventure model. Yamaha launched the third generation of its 150cc sport bike, the YZF R15, with substantial updates. The styling is sharper now with an R1 inspired fairing with dual LED headlights, and it now gets a full digital speedometer console. It is priced at 1,25,000 rupees ex-showroom. Yamaha also launched the updated YZF R3.
Probably wasn't a surprise to see Yamaha brand ambassador John Abraham up here on stage, but the bike certainly was. And it's happened on a public day as well, because I think Yamaha just wanted to keep that little trick up its sleeve. The R3 arrives at a time when there's so much anticipation around bikes getting more and more popular in the higher end spectrum. A lot of people want a little more performance and they're willing to pay for it as well. This bike comes in now in this new form, and it's certainly looking like a huge step up from the last R3, because not only do you get better tires, the Metzeler's, but you also get the ABS now finally as standard. It's available in two colors. There's a black and there is this blue. No prizes for guessing, of course, which color I like more. Certainly this one. And the prices, 3,48,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi. I'll tell you the proof of it though will be in riding it. So it's nice to see it here on the stage at the Expo. Can't wait to get it out there on a track.
Piaggio has introduced another variant of the SR, which is the 125cc variant, the Aprilia SR 125. This has been launched at the Auto Expo here at rupees 65,310 rupees. And Piaggio hopes the SR 125 will go on to become another sales success just like the SR 150. But the engine, of course, is a 125cc engine, and Piaggio wants to grab a slice of the booming 125cc scooter market with this, the new Aprilia SR 125.
Piaggio also showcased two new beautiful motorcycles, both in the 150cc segment. The full-fed Aprilia RS 150, which is styled on the lines of the Aprilia RS V4, and the Tuono 150, a naked 150cc roadster which will share the same engine. Both bikes will be made in India at Piaggio's Baramati plant and are expected to be launched by the end of 2018. TVS showcased two very interesting concepts. The Zeppelin Cruiser concept could well be India's first hybrid bike. It sports an all-new 220cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine and also gets a 1.2 kW electric motor fed by a 48-volt lithium-ion battery pack. Next, the stunning electric scooter concept called the CREON. Sharp body panels, stylish alloy wheels and fully electric. Powered by 3 lithium-ion batteries capable of delivering 12 kW of power, the CREON is said to have a 0 to 60 km/h acceleration time of 5.1 seconds with a claimed battery range of 80 km. Speaking of electric two-wheelers, a Bengaluru-based tech startup unveiled what is being called India's first electric superbike, the M-Flux 1.
It can do 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, top speed of 200 km/h. If you ride it 80 km/h, it's got a range of about 150 kilometers. And if you ride it flat out on the track, it can still do about 80 kilometers. Top spec, this is the top spec version of the M-Flux 1. It's got Olin suspension, top spec Brembo brakes, nice LED lights here, LED headlight, blinkers here. Very nice looking super bike. It's actually a sport bike. It looks really nice. So pre-orders will begin in a few months from now, but deliveries will begin sometime in 2019, around March, April 2019.
Staying electric now, surprised us with this, the Renegade Thor.
Alright, so Renault may have Captain America and Iron Man. Well, has Thor. Now this is a concept slash production model because there is an intent to launch this all electric Renegade in the Indian market as well. We're expecting it around 2020 and it packs quite a punch. It doesn't just look nice, it has a 270 kilometer riding range with a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour and yes, the quick charging option too.
Also launched two more bikes, the Renegade Duty S and the Renegade Duty Ace, calling them urban cruisers. Prices for these bikes start at just over 1 lakh rupees ex-showroom and both are powered by a 223cc single-cylinder engine. Hero MotoCorp showcased the X-Pulse Adventure concept, a 200cc adventure motorcycle which is expected to hit production soon and will be launched sometime in mid-2018. The X-Pulse is powered by a 200cc engine and is expected to cost just over 1 lakh rupees. Hero has also jumped into the 125cc scooter space, unveiling the Maestro Edge 125 and Duet 125. But sadly, they don't look radically different from their 110cc siblings.
And that is a wrap here because that's all the time we have for you today. I hope you liked all the updates and all the details from the Auto Expo. Plenty more where that came from on our website, karanbike.com, and also lots more on CNB Bazaar Buzz, so something else for you to look forward to. Promise me you'll wear your seat belts. Promise me you'll join me next week as well. Bye-bye.